What's up, everybody? This is Justin with Me, Myself, and Dice, a channel dedicated to solo board games. We've been playing Marvel Champions back there, and we are halfway through our Rise of the Red Skull campaign. Last time, Absorbing Man stood in our way and allowed Madam Hydra to get away with the Reality Stone. After defeating him, the heroes are kind of at a loss, so I think they're heading back to the Avengers Tower to regroup and see what they can do. So let's get down to the table and see what happens next with our heroes in Rise of the Red Skull. Woo, I'm glad that's done. Truly, that was a glorious battle. Hey, what was that? I have no idea. Let's get back to base and find out what's going on. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? If you're seeing that Hydra somehow stole our tower, then yeah. We're hit! We're going down! Ha! Boom! No more Avengers. Let's make sure they're done for, boys. Welcome back down to the table, everyone. I've got everything laid out for the next scenario, but the first thing we need to do is pick some rewards. All four of these cards have the word permanent and setup on it. Permanent means it can't be discarded. Setup means it comes out when Cap's shield comes out. For basic attack upgrade, you get +1 hit point and your hero gets +1 attack. For basic thwart upgrade, you get +2 hit points and your hero gets +1 thwart. For improved defense upgrade, you get +3 hit points, your hero gets +1 defense, and a hero response. After you defend against an attack, exhaust this card and draw a card. Improved recovery upgrade, you get +4 hit points, your alter ego gets +1 recovery, response. After you use recovery, exhaust this card, draw 1 card. Now, all of these look like fantastic cards. I do think that Cap does a lot of defending, so might as well give him a bump to his defense, +3 hit points, and get him an extra card draw out of it. It's a little bit harder of a choice for Natasha for me. We did build her to be the main thwarter in this deck, but she's a little squishy. So I'm really tempted just to pick improved recovery upgrade. It gives her +4 hit points, which will make her less squishy. And then if we have to flip her, then we get +1 recovery. So we may not have to flip her as much, and we get a card draw out of that. So actually, I think we will go with improved recovery upgrade. These two go back in the box. The other two are going to be shuffled into the respective decks, and we'll shuffle everything else up and set up to play. Okay, we've shuffled everything up. Let's look at the last few things we need to set up by looking at the hunting down heroes back of the card. First thing it says in setup is set each captive ally aside out of play. So what that means are these 4 cards need to be shuffled up. And then they become their own deck over here. And we'll use those when they're called for. Hopefully they will be called for. Then search the encounter deck for Hydra Patrol and put it out of play. Or put it into play. Shuffle the encounter deck. So let's go find us a Hydra Patrol. Give this deck one last good shuffle. And we have our good old Hydra Patrol. When defeated, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion and puts it into play, engaged with them. Shuffle the encounter deck. It has an exclamation mark where we can't deal with the main scheme until we deal with this, and comes on with 4 threat. There we go. Let's take a look at Taskmaster really quickly. He has 1 scheme to attack on his level 1 side, forced response. After a player changes to hero form, they discard the top card of the encounter deck and take damage equal to the number of boost icons on that card. So to help us remember that, we are going to use an upside down acceleration token. Whenever they're in their alter ego form, we'll put it on them, and then it'll help us remember when we flip in the midst of our turns. Let's take a look at the other side of hunting down heroes. It says, the notorious Taskmaster has been appointed Hydra's chief of police. His top priority is hunting down the outlaw heroes. Forced response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, which is putting threat on this, each player in hero form must choose to either place 1 threat here or take 1 damage. If this stage is completed, the players lose the game. So this starts with 2 threat on it, gets 2 each turn, and has a threshold of 24. So if 24 threat gets on this, then we lose. And it starts with 2. We're going to use a hero dial. I think it'll be going up and down a lot. So now that that's set up, let's take a look at our hero's initial hands. For Natasha, she has Energy, Stealth Strike, Surveillance Team, Spycraft, and Genius. Cap starts with Wonder Man, Super Soldier Serum, Heroic Strike, Genius, Falcon, and Black Knight. After thinking about it, I think we're going to discard these 2 cards and add to our hand another Stealth Strike, which we just discarded 1, and Acrobatics. For Cap, I think we're going to discard Wonder Man and Black Knight and add to our hand Hawkeye and a Quinjet. Let's make Cap our first player, put the marker on him, and let's get started. So I went into their decks and pulled out their setup cards. Natasha gets Tactical Scanner. We'll place it up here just so we remember. And her improved recovery upgrade that we just picked will go underneath her. And that's going to start her off with a very nice feeling 13 points. Cap, of course, gets his shield in hand. The emergency teleporter, go up here, and his improved defense upgrade. Cap wants to start his turn by paying 2 to get Super Soldier Serum out. Let's use Super Soldier Serum to get out his shield. As much as I want to start laying a beat down on Taskmaster, I think because of the Hydra Patrol, I need to go ahead and put out Hawkeye. So we get a reduction of 1. We'll hang on to Heroic Strike. Maybe we can use it next time. We'll use Falcon and Quinjet instead. And put out Hawkeye, who gets 4 arrow tokens. And then we can flip Steve over, and we remember that we need to draw a card. He takes 1 damage. He started with 14 hit points, so that brings him down to 13. He will thwart for 2, bringing that one down to 2. And I think Hawkeye will actually punch for 1, getting him down to 25 and get the ball rolling. Natasha will spin Stealth Strike to put out Acrobatics, which gives us a card draw, and it is Counterintelligence. She's going to go ahead and flip, and she will take 2 damage, and Shadows of the Past is out of play right now. That's great. So 11. Let's put Surveillance Team out for 2. It's going to come into play with 3 tokens on it. We're only going to put 2 because we're going to use it right now and get 1 off of this. She will thwart for 2 to clear this out. Now we've got to go find 2 Hydra minions. Finish shuffling that back up. Put it on Red Skull's noggin. I brought out 2 Hydra regulars. It says when this card is revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme. I was reading that when revealed only comes out when you draw it or as an encounter card. So according to the questions, that does not happen. I picked those because Hawkeye can snipe them for 2 each, and they're gone out of play. Don't have to worry about those. And then we'll play these 3 icons for Stealth Strike. We'll deal 4 damage to an enemy. The enemy is defeated by this attack. Remove 2 threat from the scheme. We're not going to defeat an enemy this turn, but we'll definitely do 4 damage, getting him down to 21. And I think we're ready to draw back up. Black Widow gets 5 cards. She comes out with Target Acquired, Agent Coulson, Acrobatics, Spycraft, and Widow's Gauntlet. Cap still has Heroic Strike in his hand. I think we're going to hang on to it. So 4 more cards. We get Honorary Avenger, Shield Toss, another Heroic Strike, and Honorary Avenger. Feels like maybe we should do a heroic strike next turn. Let's see what Taskmaster has up his sleeve. As always, we start by putting 2 on the scheme. It's up to 3. Each hero has to choose to either take 1 or put 1 on the scheme. Black Widow is going to put 1 on the scheme to 4, and Cap's going to take 1 down to 12. Then Taskmaster wants to attack Cap first. He now he blocks, for 4 because of his improved defense upgrade. Taskmaster hits for 2 plus 1 is 3. Nothing gets through. He gets to draw a card because of the upgrade, Strength in Numbers. He wants to attack Black Widow, and she also will block. She blocks only for 2, and he hits for 5, but she has an Acrobatics. When a boost card is turned face up, discard Acrobatics, cancel the boost icons on that card, deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled in this way. Couldn't have asked for a better card. 3 boost icons. So 3 damage. Down to 18, and then for triggering, she has a response down to 17. 1 damage. And I'm going to say how well that went as I start dealing out encounter cards. First to Cap, then to Black Widow. And I knew I would regret it. Insight 1. So 1 is placed here. 5 on that. When revealed, each player in hero form takes 1 damage and discards 1 card at random from their hand. Natasha is down to 10. Discard 1 card at random, so shuffle these up, and eeny, meeny, miny, mo, whatever the top one is. Another Acrobatics. That's a shame. Cap goes down to 11. And shuffles up his hand. And eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 1 of his heroic strikes. I think I'm okay with that. Black Widow's encounter card is Cap's Obligation. He can't do that because he's already exhausted. So he will discard 2 out of his 5 cards from his hand, and I think we're going to do both Honorary Avengers, which is a shame. This goes in the discard pile, and is still in the game. Let's see if our heroes can recover a little bit. So with 5 threat out of 24 on the main scheme, Black Widow is the main player. We will start by using Surveillance Team to take 1 off of this, so down to 4. Let's pay Coulson to get out a gauntlet. Let's use a gauntlet to get out target acquired. We still have Spycraft in our hands, and I believe that's all she can do. Cap, on the other hand, is pretty unhappy about what happened to him last turn, so he's going to stand back up from getting beat down a little bit. Pay 2, Shield Toss, and Strengthen Numbers. This, and that is 1 physical resource, and do his heroic strike. You know the drill. Stun the enemy, deal 6 damage to him. He's down to 11. That feels fantastic. I think Hawkeye will go ahead and thwart for 1. And we'll draw back up. Let's discard Spycraft and draw 5 more cards. Covert Ops, Dance of Death, Grappling Hook, Counterintelligence, and Counterintelligence. Cap's hand is empty, so we will draw 5 cards for him. He gets Energy, Agent 13, Other Super Soldier Serum, his helmet, and Avengers Assemble. On to the villain phase. Let's put another hit on Hawkeye for Consequential. This goes up to 5. Cap will decide to take a hit, and Natasha will put 1 threat on this up to 6. Taskmaster wants to attack Black Widow, but he is stunned. She's not too upset about that. He wants to attack Cap, Cap will defend. He attacks for 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 gets through. Cap will retaliate. I don't know if we did that last time. I don't think we did, but we're going to play as if we did. So he's down to 10. He gets to draw a card. He gets Avenger's Tower. We deal out encounter cards. One there, one there. First one is a Hydra Hunter. He has his attack gains piercing and ranged, meaning his retaliate won't work. Hawkeye, of course, wants to pot shot him for 2. And then he pulls a treachery. The villain attacks you. I think we will block with Hawkeye. And he attacks for just the 2. Probably could have taken that, but I didn't want to take the chance. Let's move this over and go back to the heroes. For the Great Captain, I really want to get out Super Soldier Serum. Number 2, so we pay 2 energy for that. Let us pay 2 for Avenger's Tower. Let's flip Cap over. We have Agent 13 in our hand. We'll use his ability to make an ally cost 1 less. She is not an Avenger ally, so I can't use Avenger's Tower. She will come in and take 2 threat off, down to 4. And I believe she will actually thwart for 2 more, down to 2. Down to 2. Let's finish up Surveillance Team and take 1 more off of this, down to 1. That feels fantastic. All of my cards are a little expensive to do much with. So I think we're going to use Covert Ops, Counterintelligence, since our threat on the scheme is so low, to pay for Dance of Death. That means we will have Grappling Hook in our hands still. Hero action. Make the following 3 attacks in order. Deal 1 damage to an enemy. We'll start with him. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. How about 8? And then 3 more. 1, 2, 3, down to 5. We will hit for 2 more here, and thankfully that doesn't quite defeat his first stage, because I don't feel like I'm set up enough to go into a second yet. So let's try to give him 1 more turn and maybe beef up a little bit more. She still has Grappling Hook in her hand. I definitely want to keep that. So she gets 4 more cards. Safe House 29, Winter Soldier, Target Acquired, and Power of Justice. Not quite the hand I was hoping for. He will get 5 cards. 4, 5, and he gets Avengers Assemble, Fearless Determination, Make the Call, and Heroic Strike. I think I can do something with that. Ready these guys up. Okay, 2 on here makes it 3. Steve doesn't have to make a choice because he's not in hero form. She will choose to let another one go in there. That's 4. All right, Taskmaster wants to scheme. And he schemes for 1, 2, 3. So 3 goes on here. 4, 5, 6, 7. We're up to 7. And he wants to attack Black Widow. She will defend. Yeah, she'll defend. And she defends against attack of 3. So she takes 1 down to 9. Deal out some encounter cards. Haunted by Hydra. Insight 1, so up to 8. Wow, that escalated quickly. When revealed, each player hero form takes 1 damage and discards 1 card from random in their hand. She takes a damage down to 8. Discards a card at random from her hand. I don't think I'm happy about this. All right, let's do whatever this one is. Power of Justice. I think I'm okay with that. I don't think I had any yellow cards in my hand. Okay. And now hers is Captured by Hydra. It's a side scheme. And this is kind of what we're looking for. When revealed, place one random set-aside captive ally face down beneath this scheme. When the scheme is defeated, the player who defeated it takes an ally into their hand and removes the scheme from the game. So it comes in with a whopping 5 on it, which is not great, and an acceleration token. We are sidetracked, so Taskmaster's free to hunt on his own without our interference. And we move to the hero's phase. Okay, so that did hurt a little more than I thought to lose that power of justice. Just mathematically, we'll pay this and Winter Soldier to get out Grappling Hook. That'll help us dodge a treachery. We'll pay Safe House 29 to get out. Nope, let's do that the other way around. Let's do Target Acquired, since we already have one, to get out Safe House 29. She's already exhausted. We can't do anything about that. I think we're going to have to flip her, which we should have done in the beginning. So let's backtrack. We flipped her. Say we flipped her first. We still put out everything. We won't change that. And when she put out a preparation card, she would have drawn a card, Spycraft, and we'll keep that in our hand. And now we can play Safe House and pull out something from in here that looks good. Let's pull out Acrobatics. And we can now pay Spycraft to get out Acrobatics. She doesn't get to draw another card. And I think that was a smarter way to play that. Let's let him recover for 3. I really wish his apartment was out. It's not, so he's up to 12. We'll flip him and hope he doesn't lose that back. He pulls 2. So down to 10. Let's play Fearless Determination. Allows him to draw a card, gives him +1 thwart. We got Quinjet. Let's discard Avengers Assemble to ready him, and he will then thwart for 3. 2 left here. Agent 13 will thwart for 2 more. So that is out of the game. And we get Elektra in our hand. Response. After you play Elektra from your hand, spend 1 physical resource, deal 3 damage to an enemy. I think that this is as good a spot as any to play Elektra. We will use one of our Super Soldier Serums to deal 3 damage to an enemy. And that will be Taskmaster. So Taskmaster 1 is gone. Let's go grab Taskmaster 2. Taskmaster 2 goes up to 2 scheme and maintains his 2 attack. He gets, when revealed, deal each player an encounter card and has the same response. This is going to go on Natasha so we don't forget. So each player gets an encounter card, starting with Natasha. 1 here, 1 here. He has 32 health. This is gone. Let's play Make the Call, spin our other Super Soldier Serum, Quinjet, Fearless Determination, hold on to Heroic Strike. Let's go in and pull out, Hawkeye? No. Let's pull out Falcon instead. So we will use our Heroic Strike. Falcon comes out. We look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and if there's a treachery, we remove 1 for each treachery. There's an obligation coming up, an attachment, and a treachery. So he removes 1. Let's hope for a little more. So down to 7. We can't ready Cap again, so let's go ahead and discard that. She's here. Now we have an ally limit of 4 now if they're all Avengers. Otherwise, it's still 3, so we're at our limit unless we can use an honorary Avenger on her. I think we've discarded all of them. Can't remember. But let's go ahead and do 5 damage. Actually, looking at the health status of these two, let's do 3 damage here. Get him down to 29. And let's do 2 thwart here, down to 5. Keep that as low as we can. 1 on each. And draw back up. Natasha gets 6 cards. And she gets Nick Fury. That may come in handy. Grappling Hook, Widow's Gauntlet, Daredevil, Queen Carrier, and Target Acquired. Cap gets 5 cards. And he gets Steve's Apartment, which would have been handy last turn. Squirrel Girl, that could come in handy. Strength in Numbers, Mockingbird, and Shield Toss. Let's ready everything up. The villain puts 2 on his scheme, up to 7 again. The heroes have to decide. I think Cap is going to take 1 down to 9. And she is going to allow 1 to go on the scheme up to 8 out of 24. Taskmaster wants to scheme here. He schemes for 2 plus 1 is 3. We'll put 3 on here. And we're up to 11 into double digits. He wants to attack Cap. He attacks for 2. We're going to let Agent 13 take that. And he attacks for 2, 3, 4. Okay, encounter cards. Starting with Natasha. We have a Hydra Hunter. She does not have Widow's Bite in play. Hawkeye's not in play. So he is engaged with her. And she gets her burn notice. She can exhaust and remove this card from the game. Cap gets advance. The villain schemes. So he schemes for 2, 3, up to 14. Getting in the uncomfortable territory for us. And captured by Hydra, which we've seen before. Now it's really uncomfortable because an acceleration token is going there. And 5 is going on this. On to the heroes. So let's use 1 to bring out Steve's Apartment. Even though we're not going to use it this turn. I like having it. We will use this to reduce the cost of an Avenger. Use the other Super Soldier Serum to get out Squirrel Girl. She does 1 to each enemy. Down to 28. And then let's use Shield Toss. We're discarding 2 cards. And we discard X cards from your hand. Then return Captain America's Shield from play to your hand. Deal 4 damage to X number of enemies. So this comes back to my hand. And we'll deal 4 to him. He's gone. And 4 to him, down to 24. Cap is going to thwart along with Squirrel Girl and Falcon. That takes the 5 off of this. That's removed from the game. And we find Shang-Chi. After you play Shang-Chi from your hand, spend a energy resource to stun an enemy. He is not an Avenger, so I can't put him out right now. Elektra's going to hit for 3, I believe. And I pulled the wrong card, but Schrodinger's cat, it doesn't matter. This is gone. Really wish I could thwart, but I can't. So these are all exhausted, and we go to Black Widow. We're going to use Safe House to bring a preparation card from our hand, or from our discard to our hand. I just grabbed Spycraft. We'll play that Spycraft again to get out her gauntlet. And boy, do I hate to see Queen Carrier go, but I think we need Fury out here. So 4 cards from our hand to get out Fury. Now we can remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. Let's draw those 3 cards. I always tend to do that. I think that's the most helpful. We get Quake, Scent Suit, and Surveillance Team. I really want to get Scent Suit out, and none of them are preparation cards. So we're just going to call it quits there. Fury's going to thwart for 2. Get this down to 12. And let's draw back up. We are going to discard Quake and Surveillance Team from here. Keep Scent Suit. Draw 5 cards. There's 2 left in our deck. Dance of Death, Covert Ops, Power of Justice, Widow's Bite, and Strength. That hand looks promising. We're going to keep both of those for Cap and draw 3 cards. He has a little more in his deck. Looks like about 5 or 6. And we get Strength, Honorary Avenger, and Shield Block. Okay, I can work with that. Villain's going to add 2 here, up to 14. And Cap has to choose. Let's let it go up to 15. Actually, let's let him go back down to 8. Okay, Taskmaster's going to attack. First, Captain America. Squirrel Girl's going to jump in front of that. He deals 3 damage to her. He wants to scheme. Actually, let's let Fury jump in front of that. He wants to scheme on Natasha for 2. And just 2. Up to 16 out of 24. Gets the first encounter card. She gets the second. It's captured by Hydra, so whatever that one is. Acceleration token and a 5er. And she gets a Hydra Soldier. She does not have Widow's Bite out, and Hawkeye again is not out. Where are you when I need you? So he comes out, has guard, and gets that boost or encounter card. To the hero's turn. We've got a lot of mess to clean up right here. Let's see what we can do. I think the first thing I do with Widow is use her safe house. Let's pull Acrobatics back out. We'll use a gauntlet and put out Widow's Bite. Let's recover for 4, 3 here and 1 here. She's back up to 12. She gets to draw a card. She has 2 in her deck. So we get another Widow's Bite. She also gets to draw a card from Widow's Bite coming out, and we get followed. Oh, that's nice. So let's use Power of Justice. Actually, she needs to shuffle her deck first. One last good shuffle. All right. So now let's use Power of Justice. Discard that to get out followed. When attached scheme is defeated, deal 4 damage to an enemy. Let's throw it on that. We're going to flip her. So she's going to take damage. And she takes just 1. Back down to 11. Let's pay another gauntlet to get out a second Acrobatics. We'll discard Strength and Dance of Death to play Covert Ops, which is remove 4 threat from a scheme, confuse the villain. So 4 is coming off of this. She's going to do 2 damage to him. And she's going to get an encounter card for running out her deck. And we still have Widow's Bite and Scent Suit in our hand. I think we'll just hold on to that for now. I believe that's all she can do. Let's throw it over to Cap. We'll start with Super Soldier Serum and bring his shield back out. I don't want to forget that. We're going to go ahead and finish this up with Squirrel Girl. She's going to thwart one here. So followed deals 4 damage. Let's do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 17. This is gone. This is out of the game. And Cap finds Moon Knight. After you play Moon Knight from your hand, spend a wild resource to draw 2 cards with 2 thwart and 2 attack. That's nice. So let's go ahead and play him out. And we'll discard Shang-Chi, which has a wild resource. And that means we get to draw 2 cards. We get Shield Block and make the call. And I already had a Shield Block in my hand. I forgot to use it last time. So bad about remembering that. Let's get Cap to thwart 2 here. Down to 14. Let's discard a Shield Block and ready him. And then we'll flip him over. We will use Steve's Apartment to draw a card. We get Strength in Numbers. Let's make Elektra an Honorary Avenger. That'll give her a +1. So she now has 4 hit points instead of 3. Let's hit for 2 with Falcon. He's gone. This will go into that stack. We're going to discard 1, 2, 3, 4 resources with Make the Call and bring Falcon back out. We still have Shield Block in our hand. Maybe I'll remember to use it this turn. Falcon looks at the top 3 cards of the deck. This deck is getting low as well. There's 5 cards left in it. Top 3 is an attachment, a side scheme, and an attachment. No treachery. I was looking back. I forgot to draw 2 cards with Shang-Chi with Moon Knight. So 2 more cards. Power of Leadership, Avengers Assemble. Really doesn't do me any good. So let's recover with Steve. That's 11. Plus he should have gotten 1 here. So that's 12. We're going to attack for 5. Brings him down to 12. Fantastic. And then we're going to thwart for 2. Brings that down to 12 as well. And so these 3 are exhausted. She still has 1 hit point left. Let's draw back up. I have these 3 cards in my hand. I think I'll discard this one. Draw another Power of Leadership. And then he will have to shuffle his deck. All right, his deck shuffled. We have 3 cards. We need 6. 4, 5. Squirrel Girl, Quinjet, and Honorary Avenger. She has 2 in her hand. I think we'll keep them. No, let's get rid of Widow's Bite. Let's draw 5 or 4 more, up to 5. 4, we get Fury, Covert Ops, Quake, and Target Acquired. Covert Ops again. That sounds good. Let's ready everybody up. Okay, we don't want to forget to give Cap a card for running out his deck. 2 going here, up to 14. He doesn't have to make a choice, but she does. I think she's going to take a hit down to 10. And then Taskmaster wants to attack here. She'll defend for 2. He attacks for 2. 3. We are going to trigger this, ignore that damage, and deal it back to him, plus her trigger ability. So that's 2 more, down to 10. He wants to scheme. He schemes for 2, 3, 4. So up to 18 out of 24. That is getting pretty uncomfortable. Oh, he couldn't scheme. Excuse me, he's confused. So let's put that card back in this 3-card deck. Shuffle it back in. So back down to 14. Pretend like that didn't happen. Okay. So now we deal in counter cards. So one here first, and then one here. I think we had a good turn last turn, so he's pretty upset about that with all these cards. Hydra Sidearm. He gets ranged, spend a mental and a physical resource to get rid of it. His attack goes up to 3. Hydra Soldier. She does have Widow's Bite, so he will come in to play with that card. And she's going to do 2 damage to him and stun him, which stinks because he has a guard on him. Or we could just bypass him. Before we move on, this deck needs to be shuffled. Alright. Finish shuffling up this deck. Put a permanent acceleration token on him. And we're running out of time. So let's see what this last one is. Photographic Reflexes. We've seen that before. And then with Cap, we have Taskmaster's Training Camp. It's a side scheme with 4 on it. After a minion enters play, give it a tough status card. And it comes in with 4. And +1 to our card draw. So I usually put acceleration token there, just to remember. And then Exosuit, +1/+1. That is painful. Okay, so his base attack is now 4 plus whatever the boost is. Alright, we need to do some major damage. Okay, I think I can make this work out. Let's start with Steve's apartment. We get Avengers Assemble. Goes up to 13 out of his 14. Let's go all out. Let's attack with Elektra. She'll be discarded. That's 3 attack. I don't want to do that first. Gotta get through his photogenic reflexes first. Okay, I still think we can do this in 1 turn. So, let's go ahead. We'll attack with Elektra. We're going to attack the Hydra Soldier. He's gone. That'll free up Black Widow. And now I've made room, since he's not an Avenger and she was an Avenger, I've made room. First ally's free, or is 1 less, we'll just make her free. Squirrel Girl will come out, do 1 damage. Ping that off, and I take it back down to 12. Let's go ahead and flip Steve over. We take 1 damage, down to 11. 2 power leaderships. Avengers Assemble is +1 fort, +1 attack to each Avenger. So that means he can attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 damage here. Scoots him down to 0. Taskmaster is gone.
And that was scenario 3 against Taskmaster in Rise of the Red Skull. I really like how they represented his powers here and his ability to react and learn the moves of our heroes. I have to say, as much as I like the first 2 reward cards we got to choose, these 2 are game changers. These 2 buff up the heroes and I think are invaluable cards. I don't know what it would have been like to choose the other ones, but those 2 upgrades are phenomenal. Next time, we'll be taking a look at Zola, who is not one of my favorite characters, but is an interesting character nonetheless. Looking through his stuff, I think it's going to be an interesting scenario. So if you enjoyed this content, please think about hitting that like and subscribe button, and definitely hit that bell icon so that you're notified as soon as a new video goes up. I'm committing to putting out 1 video a week right now, but I'd like to put some special episodes up every now and again. So if you hit that bell icon, you'll definitely be notified whenever those go up. If you have any questions or comments, or if I made any rules errors, just leave them down in the comment section below so that others may know and I can make this a better channel. And as always, thanks for joining and happy gaming.